Gateway. You stand in the middle. This side, yeah.
So thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. So I would like, but if you teach him to learn creating curiosity, he will continue beautifully encapsulate the essence of the gathering today. It is with great enthusiasm that we gather here today.
Two more seeds. Of course, one tree bears hundreds of seeds every time it is the season. So it shouldn't be too hard to at least double the amount of trees. And if you are able to, and even if others do not follow this practice, if you plant maybe 30 or 40 seeds for every tree you cut down, then that will mitigate everything else that is going on around the world. So I sincerely believe we have the ability to cut down on deforestation very easily, especially using the machines that we already have to spread seeds, crop dusters. So I must ask, why don't we do it already? Why are we too lazy to actually reseed all the trees that we cut down? Then, another wonderful question I got was from Dr. Basumatari in the history department. And he asked me, in the 1947 partition, as you know, many people were angry because India and Pakistan were split from one another on solely religious basis. So do you think that they would have been a stronger country? There would have been a better future for both countries if they had stayed united? And I had told him, there are lots of possible futures. Of course, it depends on how the first Prime Minister, which would likely be, once again, the Prime Minister Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, he would probably be the Prime Minister. If he handled things the wrong way, there would be lots of religious violence between the two families. I had trouble feeding most of the population when India was starting out. So when there were 200 to 250 million more people to feed, that makes things increasingly difficult than the main people who are the Indian mainland, which makes the Pakistan situation a lot worse. But if PM Nehru handled it well enough, I'm sure that through the additional population, he could amass additional manpower and technology. So of course, how history goes depends on how people handle situations that they are presented with. I got another question from the economics professor, Professor Sanjarang, where he asked me about a Marxist sense theory of capability. In very poor countries, those countries also tend to be ones that aren't democratic. Countries that are authoritarian are usually the same countries that have very poor populations. Countries that have technically democratic regimes but are very corrupt have some mediocre styles of living. You have a stable income, but if one thing goes wrong, you will lose everything. The United States, Europe, or India have people who are mostly stable and good economic conditions. So he asked me, how can this encourage people to change the world? And I told him, well, it will compel people who are already economically stable to try and uphold their democracy more, so they can keep the same standard of living. And it will encourage those who are poor to overthrow their regime. Now, of course, I don't want to spend forever talking about last night because we have to actually get to today's speech, but it was a wonderful time getting to know your college. So, today, what I want to talk about is, as a person who is harnessing brain power. So, how do you harness the hidden thing that's inside your brain that will unlock every door for you? Well, the answer is you don't. There are no single magical tablet that will work for every single person. Every single person has a different situation. Every single person has a different level of motivation. every single person has a different circle I'm here today is because I was so lucky. My mom and my dad were so supportive of me and my ambitions and my empathy for every single person. But I can say that if you are lucky enough to be economically fortunate, you still have to work to harness these hidden brain waves. You still have to work a lot in order to harness your true potential. But all you have to do, you don't have to do it in math and science. You don't have to do it in some subject because somebody is forcing you to, or because you want to impress someone, or because you want to get famous. Because that, in the end, ultimately never works out. If you're doing something for fame, eventually you'll get tired of it and see that fame isn't coming to you. Doing something because you want to impress somebody, eventually that person will leave your life and you'll feel no motivation to do it anymore. So, don't do it because you want to do it, you want it for somebody else. Do it because you want it for yourself, because that is the thing that will get you the farthest. You'll always have yourself, your own passions, your own goals, and your own dreams. So don't make your dreams impress everybody else or to get fame. Maybe that's a good thing to do on the side, but don't make it your main quest. Don't push your passion to the side because you want to pursue some being rich or being famous. Because in the end, your passion is not only what will make you happy, but also what will make you rich and what will make you famous. There is always somebody who has succeeded going down the exact same path you are in right now. Whether it's math and science, or history, or art, or linguistics, or anything else for that matter. You have so much potential to harness. And while it may not come in the form of hidden brainwaves, it definitely comes in the form of how willing you are to work for it, and how willing you are to go through classes every single day and learn it. And not only that, but someone said that my study routine is for everyone. Usually I only study 2 to 3 hours. I soak up information so quickly in class that I don't really need to do much studying when I'm memorizing at home. But of course that doesn't work for everyone. Everybody has different learning. Some faster, some slower. So, what's the one thing that works for everyone? Well, it's just patience. Everybody needs to be patient to get what they want, what they need to point in time. Everybody needs to be patient to get what they want at some point in time. You're very fast. So, of course, I've been very lucky to get where I am in just 12 years, but that took a lot of patience itself. It took sitting for almost 9. It took almost 9 to 10 hours every single day sitting through class to get what I wanted. So, no matter what, if you feel that you aren't getting what you want right now, and you're working too hard for it, of course, maybe you're doing something wrong. Maybe you're not following your passion. Because I can tell you, if you follow your passion, and if you really enjoy it, you will go through whatever it takes to do it. No matter how hard it is or how much you struggle. And if you think you've already failed your passion, but you still can't get through it, if you still can't do all of the workloads that your classes, or your friends, or your family require of you, that's okay. Everybody feels overwhelmed sometimes. All you have to do is try and take a break in some way. Think about the way you're organizing your own life. Are you actually doing it in the most efficient way possible? Well, are you sure you've optimized everything, and yet you still can't handle anything? Are you sure there's not one little change in your life that you're too lazy to make right now, but that could change everything for you in the future? Because I'm telling you, that change for me was skipping grades. I felt like what I was doing right now wasn't satisfying me enough. It was too boring for me. 3rd and 4th grade, and even 8th grade at some point. It felt too boring for me at the skill level that I was right now. But I felt like it would be too hard to actually go up to 9th grade and 12th grade. But let me tell you, nothing is too hard for anyone, especially students like you who are willing to go through anything to persevere. I'm so excited for what you have in your future, but what you have to first do is you have to make that change in your life so you can have a good future. If you feel like where you're heading right now is not the best possible situation, then change your life. It's not that easy, of course. It takes lots of flip and switch and do everything instant. But I know that people like you can get through it with only a little bit of hard work because you've gone through everything you have so far. 12th grade, you've gone through passing all of your exams, JE, NEP, or whatever you thought was super challenging. Whatever you need to change your life is much less challenging than whatever you've already gone through so far. So all I have to say to you is